Heyo everybody, and welcome to another special edition of Chamber a Game. I don't know why it's a special edition this time around, but yeah.
It's always special.
I'm here. Well, only when you have the helm, Eric.
That's right.
Speaking of which, I am here, granted to be in the esteemed presence of Mr. Eric Watson.
I'm joined by the glorious Mr. Andrew Whipple.
You got to start saying something afterwards, man.
You're always going to be glorious.
All right, so you've been messing around with SpellForce 2, the ageless game. When did it come out? Like 2006?
1947, I believe.
1947. Amazing.
The greatest generation forged the SpellForce. Real-time strategy.
So this is the last expansion for the game, right? This is it. This is putting the game to rest.
Yeah, this is the third and final expansion to SpellForce 2, a strategy game that came out in 2006. So 8 years later, we get its third expansion, which is either insane or kind of cool, I guess, depending on if you're a fan.
Well, you're definitely into the real-time strategy genre, right?
For sure, yeah, a genre that has certainly seen better days.
Did you actually play SpellForce 2 when it came out?
I think I played the very first one, and then by the time SpellForce 2 went out, gosh, I think even then that was the swan song of RTS games. And then lately, I mean, right now, if you're not into StarCraft, or if you're not a MOBA player, which is kind of the next evolution of the RTS, it's pretty slim picking, so not a whole lot of competition, I would say. But even then, SpellForce is a strategy RPG hybrid, really, especially with the campaign. You actually get to create your hero, and you have like a skill trees, and you have a whole hotbar with the skills you select, and throughout the campaign you control a whole party of heroes with their own abilities. So very much layers on the RPG aspects.
Yeah, I'm definitely behind. I'm behind. I'd say the imagination and creative concepts that SpellForce 2 tries to employ. I did play the first game, and I thought that it was super aggressive with its ideas. I don't think it came out as well as I'd like. SpellForce 2, I never really gave a shot. I think it was still too close to the Warcraft 3 era, or World of Warcraft. It came out in 2004 and such. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm a big RTS fan myself. I've always wanted to see a game that can do everything, like Supreme Commander wise, right? You want to scroll all the way out and just see everything, and then you want to pick on one dude and you want to level him up and give him certain items and just take direct control, or then you also want to build an army. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely different schools of thoughts when it comes to strategy games. You can either go really zoomed out with the macro, which is games like Planetary Annihilation coming out, where you control tons of units and you don't really care about them individually, or you zoom way in, which is something I think we first saw with Warcraft 3, where you have these individual hero guys, and I think that's what the SpellForce series took that and kind of ran with it, where you have these really powerful hero units that actually have weapons and items you can find on the field, and they gain levels and get their own skills. So right now we're going to jump into the campaign, which is crazy lengthy and very much focuses on just individual heroes rather than giant armies clashing. And I'm not up on my SpellForce storyline, and this is definitely a storyline that's made for the fans, so it just totally jumps you in expecting you to know all these people and characters and events going on, and I'm a little lost, but get through it.
I gotta say that it looks pretty nice. I mean, for a game circa 2006, was hot on the heels of like all the RTSs that were out at the time.
Yeah, I think they managed to squeeze a lot out of this engine for how old it is, and plus it's the advantage of an RTS. I mean, especially if you're playing all the way zoomed out, like it looks perfectly fine, and the animations are serviceable and all that. Once you start zooming in, and unfortunately, and you'll be able to see this once we see some dialogue sequences, shit starts to fall apart on the graphical front.
voice acting isn't exactly the strongest suit of this game.
It's okay. Actually, it's not bad, and I find the writing it can be a little stilted. You know, there's so much fantasy, long names going on, and just the lore is just all kinds of over my head. But they try to play it
Right.
up. Actually, there's some lighthearted stuff. There's some fun kind of Monty Python esque little comedy routines that go on, and I can appreciate that.
Well, so far the animations look pretty cool. The GUI, I don't really know what's going on here. Can you take us through like what some of the stuff means? There seems to be a lot of portraits and such in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, this is such an old design because I think a lot of user interfaces nowadays try to have as least amount of stuff on the screen as possible. RTSs are obviously hampered by this because there's so much information you need to know. Um, but yeah, so the portraits, these are all my heroes. I've got 4 with me right now, and then one guy that's kind of accompanying me, although I can control him just the same. The icons below them are all their abilities that I can actually activate, which is super useful. So I don't actually have to try and select them individually. You can see their hotbars change obviously if I select them, but it's very useful if I select all of them. It has a lot of their abilities up already on there, at least the defensive abilities, and then if I actually target an opponent, then it'll switch to a lot of their offensive abilities. So that part of the UI has
Gotcha.
been pretty great. There's an inventory
Oh
screen.
my God. Yeah,
Uh,
that's
Yeah, there's a lot of skills. Your main hero can actually learn all 7 skills, but each of your dudes that are with you, for whatever reason, can only have 3 skills that are active, even though they learn a bunch. So
that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, at least they still have some sort of special abilities.
yeah, inventory gets pretty crazy. You get a lot of different weapons and items, and they all have their own stats. It doesn't quite get to like Diablo level insane, where they're like all random drops and whatnot, but it does make a big difference to find better stuff for your dudes. Especially and like I said, the campaign is all about your heroes, so it's very much important on what the shit you find.
How do you find the stuff then? Do you just
They'll
buy it
drop
in
off,
the store?
there'll be treasure chests on the map,
Okay.
and or they'll drop off enemies. Sometimes you can find shit, so you can explore a
Oh,
little bit and
man.
find some neat things.
No wonder why this game is so lengthy. They want you to explore every nook and cranny around here so you can find those treasure chests.
Which it's weird because again, like if you've played like StarCraft has some of those like the mods in the arcade thing where you can play like RPG versions of the game. That really,
Oh,
I mean, that's
sure.
basically taking what SpellForce does because they use an RTS engine and interface and all that, but a lot of the campaign and the stuff they do is very much set up like an RPG. Like you're actually running around and doing quests and
My God.
doing all these RPG things. You've got inventory, you've got skill trees.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, it's got combat magic, Shikan, which is the race that your avatar is. He's got like the blood of the dragon or something cool. But all these skills, give you different abilities that you can unlock. So you actually gain experience and you level up and you gain new skills. So it's just quite a lot of RPG going on here.
Yeah, it feels like right now with the way that this campaign, at least this mission anyway, is set up, it seems more of an RPG than an actual RTS. And I feel
Yeah.
that's what SpellForce 2 tries to properly employ, that they can switch from any time that they want to. If you go back to, I want to say, one of the first like great games to do that, and which is still prestigious today as far as I'm concerned, the Command and Conquer series.
Yeah.
They started out where you just have a couple of dudes, maybe a few soldiers, whatever. Hey, get through this hard section, and then eventually, like the map would just surprisingly expand, and an MCV, mobile construction vehicle, come over, and you can build now, and the mission has changed. StarCraft did it, Age of Empires did it.
Yep.
It's kind of cool to see this.
Yeah, I think this one is way heavily favored in the RPG aspect. Like I think most of the maps I've played so far in the campaign have 0 actual RTS element. If you take RTS to be like, base building and resource management, like it's just wandering around a map doing quests. There's puzzles. One of the quests had one of the maps was just a series of trials you had to do, which were puzzles or fighting guys. There was a stealth sequence in one of them, which was just absolutely horrendous, trying to like click around a map and to avoid these guys that are patrolling. But you can see
Yeah.
here when you zoom in on dudes, like now you can really see all the nuts and bolts of the engine. You're like, okay, yeah. Even though the troll guy does look kind of cool.
Tell me what to do.
So you've already made some choices here. How much does that actually affect the game?
The main choices that I've made are the companions I can take with me. The very beginning of the game, you can choose between 3 companions, and I chose this mage Necros because he was a surly asshole. So I was like, all right, you seem funny. And the next guy you get is Kane, who's this badass warrior, and then you get to choose another person out of like 6 people, which was all kinds of stressful. I chose a healer. And then now I've got another guy that's following me around. So that's really the main choices is the makeup of your party.
Yeah. Okay.
There are like dialogue you can talk with people in terms of real choices. I don't know how much you can affect. I don't think it's a whole lot because I think it's a pretty static map. But I mean, as you can see, the maps are pretty darn huge for the most part.
So in other words, this is the most ambitious game of all time.
Yeah, that's right. And it's budget price. It's pretty cheap too, actually. I mean, it's labeled as an expansion, but it's standalone too. Obviously, you don't have to own previous SpellForce games.
The combat animations and such, they look just fine. I mean,
Yeah.
there isn't anything like too advanced about it. I mean, like that lightning you were calling down a bit ago, that doesn't really look that great. But
I wish it didn't have this grass. This grass is distracting me. Actually, I just let it be flat.
we didn't even talk about the ridiculous fetch quests. The fetch quest that you're on, like right now, you need to get 6 wolf claws.
Yeah,
get through the
there's all
cave
these
or
side
whatever.
quests, and it's a whole lot of it's unfortunately they take a lot of the tedious RPG stuff in there, which couple that with just wandering around an RTS giant map with only a few guys. Not really feeling it on some of those design decisions.
How many escort quests have you gone on?
Oh man, there was one that seemed kind of fun where almost like a MOBA inspired, where there were all these teams fighting each other and you were just wandering on the map and they were all neutral to you and you were just fighting the demons among them, and then you could talk to them and decide which camps to take out so you could kind of gain temporary allies. And it was kind of a neat idea. It wasn't executed as well as I'd hoped, but I mean, they do try to change up. Every campaign map is very different. See, I'm trying to get you out of there.
So you are gaining experience as you're killing these creatures, right?
Yeah, and you can see each creature has a number after their name, including my own heroes, and that tells you their level, and that means everything. Like, you can't look at a creature and just tell how strong it is. You have to look at that level, which is very un-user-friendly in the beginning of the game because you can fight a level 2 skeleton and you'll wipe the floor with him, and then you come across a level 9 skeleton and he will destroy your entire army. Like, that level means everything. But he looks the exact same. It's just that little number in the parentheses means so much.
Yeah, you were getting your ass handed to you right there for a minute.
Yeah,
At least
definitely.
it looked like it.
I know, yeah. So those wolves are the same level as my guys, so I was using a lot of my abilities. Which, again, I'm thankful for the great UI. I don't have to try and switch between
Yeah.
my guys on the fly or anything.
I also want to say this: if you haven't seen our chamber game on Blackguards that we did, go and check it out, because this game seems to go against everything that I was saying as far as number pollution is concerned. It's not too bad with numbers that are popping up, but when you mouse over a few things, I saw how much damage it would commit. Like, your lightning bolts would do 390 damage.
Yeah.
Does it ever get confused? Like, do you get confused with the amount of numbers and such? Because Blackguards, your guys are doing like 2 damage, 3. Like,
That's
it just,
true.
It seems
Yeah.
manageable.
You know, I think it's supposed to be, and yeah, I agree. The numbers are insane, but I think it's supposed to be because this is the 3rd expansion. So I guess everything is supposed to be ratcheted up, and this is all like late game, like super. You're all demigods by now or something. Even though I started at level 1 still. So maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, the number range. You do 200 to 600 damage. Like, all right, well, couldn't I just do 2 to 6 damage and have everything be scaled down a bit?
Because we could easily chop your head off.
I don't know about the voice acting, man.
I'm here as an emissary of your god, the great Zadak.
Why should Sarah?
The writing's usually not too bad though. It doesn't take itself. I mean, sometimes it's a little too lore heavy, and like I said, I don't know anything. It's not.
All Eo.
It's just not the most user friendly to just try to jump in and get the lore. But I do appreciate some of the writing tries to be funny with it at least.
Cannot be trusted.
Right.
Spend test.
Well, it's like we were saying. You can't expect everything to be. Now, how do I put this? Everybody compares, I feel, games like this to Blizzard titles.
Yeah.
Or other, like the most classic, prestigious titles, Command and Conquer. You know, I listed them before. You know, Total Annihilation, all those games. But more so like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft, people look back on because voice acting and everything, the art direction, the amount of money that was put into it, and that's really the difference. Sometimes when you get a huge company like Blizzard or when they existed, Westwood, now EA, they can put almost an unlimited budget into something if they truly believe in it. Indie developers, they have to look at it in a very different light. Sometimes you can't expect the absolute best from it, but you know what? It's good enough to pass by, and you can appreciate everything for what it's worth.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, a big thing too. I mean, the biggest caveat is this game's like $20. Like, this is not a $60 title or even like a $40 title. Like, it's and you don't have to own the previous iteration. So, which unfortunately, as a standalone expansion, I would hope it would be a little more. Those are some big fucking spiders. I'd hope it'd be a little more user friendly to jump in.
Oh my god.
But as it is, you really have to. Really have to know your RTSs, I guess, and just try to jump in.
If I ran into a forest,
you guys are effing huge. Dragon spider. Holy shit.
Yeah, I would not be fighting those things.
No.
I'd just be running.
I'm gonna just.
I don't know how. I don't know how. I mean, how in the world can you even kill those things? Like, just your dudes, like one of those guys could just eat you.
Everybody just auto attack, so I just have my few ability. Wow, they're actually doing.
Yeah.
Kicking ass, man. Spiders ain't got nothing on me.
So do you have any kind of super moves?
No, I don't.
Really flashy?
Maybe I haven't probably unlocked them yet. Don't know.
Well, how deep are you?
This is about halfway through the campaign right now. And
I suppose this is a good time to say that you are also in the midst of writing a review on this game.
Yes, for sure.
When can we expect it?
Probably. God, this is a long ass campaign too. Today is Thursday. Probably by Monday, we can have that review up.
Pretty sweet.
Indeed. Yeah, I think. And the campaign is. I've liked some parts of it. I've hated a lot of it, actually. I don't even think the campaign is the game's strong suit, honestly. I think just having that classic RTS is pretty fun, and I think it offers a lot of fun modes to play with, which you can certainly check out. Why did you run over there? Don't piss those spiders off. Come back here. Oh, what the hell? No.
You gotta do it, man. Experience.
Why did you shoot those spiders? It's so many bad things here. Oh god, click all the abilities. All the abilities. Jesus.
So I did not ask, but do your characters, do they just auto heal after a fight? Do you actually have to do it yourself?
They do. They'll heal up slowly, and they'll die, and when they go down, there's a timer that starts. It's about 2 minutes long, and this horrible heart beating sound happens. And any other character can actually revive that person, although it takes a few seconds and some of their mana. So you can just pop somebody back up, but they appear with like really low health. So if you're already dying, like losing the battle, then you're probably gonna end up losing that battle. And
so were you supposed to die there?
In the campaign, man, I was surprised that went out pretty well. I did click a lot of buttons.
Button clicking.
Button clicking.
Hey, you know what? That's another good question asked too. It doesn't look like there's any like skilled abilities that you see in MOBAs or even in like StarCraft 2. Like you have targeted abilities somewhere. Looks like you just press a button and your dude winds up or like casts a spell. Is it all just automatic?
Well,
you just run your finger over the numbers bar.
So you do have to target a lot of that stuff. The way I found you can get away with it is you can push all these abilities that don't have a target. So this Thunderstorm ability automatically targets the 3 closest enemies, so I can just click that without targeting, which is very useful. But for specifically offensive abilities, if you hit the space bar, it'll automatically, your targeting cursor will go to whoever enemy your guys are targeting, and then you can just click the ability, and since you're already highlighting over that enemy, they'll automatically fire their spells off. So in the middle of battle, that's actually been pretty useful.
Huh. Yeah, that does seem pretty handy.
Yes.
Heads up by the developers.
Good.
But you can see, I mean, just the way this is laid out, this is very RPG-like. I'm exploring the forest. I'm trying to gather these 3 items for this guy to move on. Like, this
I almost
is not.
feel like it's too RPG-like.
Yeah. I think that's my main complaint. Like, I don't mind this stuff in an RPG, but this is still like an RTS and controls like an RTS. And I appreciate what SpellForce does with combining those genres. I just wish the campaign just let me play it more as an RTS, I guess.
I'm telling you, back in Red Alert 2, when your guy would actually gain behind-the-scenes experience, and he could rank up and get like 1, 2, or at the best the 3 stripes, and they would do so much more damage, and their abilities would change a little bit. Oh, that was my favorite, because you actually wanted to hang on to those guys because they were more effective than anybody else. I remember getting what were they? The Soviet dreadnoughts, and getting one of those to rank 3. The little missiles that fired off the ship were mini atomic bombs.
Nice.
Or you got to remember those the proto-men that would just warp in and just send them back in time.
Man,
I don't know if you ever played that game, but it was pretty sweet.
A little bit of it, yeah. I just really miss RTS games in general, though. I mean, that seemed like they had their heyday, and maybe with Kickstarter, and I mean, there's a SpellForce 3 coming out also, and they've confirmed that that's going to be the big thing. This is kind of a whole, thing to do in between that, but
we'll have to check that out. I'm interested in seeing the updated visuals and interface.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's obviously shit's come a long way since 2006.
I'm really surprised at how this game has aged. Like I thought it was going to be a bit more archaic than this, but it is. It's definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
playable.
surprisingly, it's very competent. I mean, it still plays pretty well. There's design things I don't like about the campaign. I think a lot of the quest structuring and whatnot is more tedious than needs to be, but the actual RTS gameplay is still pretty damn solid.
Well, speaking of which, as much as I'd love you to
continue
go and destroy the rest of the rainforest,
killing bears and spiders in the forest,
I'm sure the druids in this area love you at current. Do you want to show off that other mode you were talking about?
Yeah, we can show off some actual some RTS. I'm actually gonna save my game because that was making some good progress here.
Another unknown game that a lot of people missed out on was Armies of Exigo. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
One.
Well, so essentially it was Warcraft 3 again at the time. What wasn't? But the big thing for them, what they had going for them, was you could actually go underneath the map. Like you could fight underground. Like that was a big thing. You could press like Control or something. It would just switch. It would just go underground. So you could.
Oh, nice.
You could quite literally invade a base from underneath them, which was pretty cool.
So in addition to your standard, well, actually not at all standard campaign, there's a standard skirmish mode, which is just you start with your headquarters, your 5 workers, and you got to gather resources and build up. The big difference is in SpellForce you get to choose your main hero, which basically strips the RPG aspect because they're already max level and they've already got all their skills, and so you actually get to choose basically a pre-made hero that's got all their skills already. And then maps, there's a decent amount for an expansion, I would say. If it's your first time coming into a game and you're expecting a shit ton of maps, you're just not going to get it. This is pretty much what you're going to get. But it's serviceable, and most of them are actually team-based maps. In fact, a lot of, you can tell, 3 versus 3, 2 versus 2 kind of setups here. But the game also, by the way, you can see that community maps in here, ships with a full editor. You can make your own maps, which is always a good plus for RTS games.
Always.
Yeah. The other modes, Domination is a really interesting control point map, actually. You start off with basically a shit ton of resources, but you have to capture these control points in order to actually finally win the game, and it's just timed.
Oh,
Free,
so like sort of like how Dawn of War worked.
yeah, actually a lot like that. Free game is a weird mixture of the campaign, but playing on like just a single map, and you can actually play it cooperatively. But you play like in a level range. There's like big ones, there's some smaller ones that are more focused, but it basically distills the campaigns like having to level up your person into a single experience, which is interesting. Survival is you control your hero, which again starts at level 1. You can create them, and you survive waves of dudes coming at you, and then as you beat dudes, that's how you get to summon your army with you. So you just control an army. There's no base building, but it seems kind of cool because you actually are leveling up your hero and gaining abilities, and then you're just basically attacking. So there's a lot of game modes here and different ways to play. The one that I'm going to show that I've really liked is the Domination, because that control point thing is pretty fun. And it's just fun because you start off with a shit ton of resources, and then you can just build all your shit up, which is just entertaining.
Do you have any idea what we're going to be expecting from SpellForce 3? I'm just curious if they're going to be drawing directly from the ideas Demons of the Past. I would assume so, because it's part of the actual game.
Yeah.
With all the rest of the expansions.
In terms of in terms of game modes, I could definitely see that. Let's just play this one. I can see them using for sure the same strategy RPG aspects to it. I'd hope that they would make the RPG part a little more fun, and just tie it into the actual strategy game better, especially in the campaign. But I think it's a neat idea. It's basically modern day Warcraft 3. So we can choose one of these here. This isn't actually a huge deal. You can actually play the whole game without even summoning your hero. But they are pretty strong. Let's go with this ice chick, Asha, I guess. We'll play on Cover Your Back.
Let's see this.
Let's see this. So this is actually going to be, we're going to play this one as a 2v2. So we'll have an ally with us, and then we'll play against 2 enemies, so why not? So there are 5 different factions that you can play as, although this is not StarCraft. Like, they basically all play the same in terms of the same number of units, the same way everything is built, the same tech tree. Obviously the units are different and they act differently, but other than that. So your Realm are your standard humans. Boring. Pact are your like dark elf dungeon type creatures. Clan are your orcs. Shaikan are your different humans. They're like badass humans basically. They've got a few dragons and stuff. And Nameless are your demons. So we can see I don't know which one sounds more interesting to play as.
Let's see the Nameless. I want to see the demons.
The demons. Yes. Definitely want to play as the demons. We're going to be in the color black, because why not?
Wait, so every faction isn't really that different?
They're really not.
Essentially the same units?
Yeah, well, they're not like carbon copy. Like, different units have different abilities and, different uses, I guess. But there are, like, equivalents. Yeah, exactly. It's like, here's your level 1 ranged fighter, here's your level 2, whatever. And, they have the same way that they're built. Like, you build this building, and then you have to upgrade it to build this guy. So that kind of thing is...
See, that's what I really liked about the Dawn of War series, like Dawn of War 2, and that was awesome. Even the first Dawn of War, I liked how every faction in that game was super different. Like the Imperial Guard needed tons of dudes to actually do anything, while you could have just one squad of Space Marines or Chaos Marines.
Yeah, I will say, okay, that's a good example of something I want to see out of SpellForce 3. I want to see like asymmetrical factions. I want to see dudes that are like way different from each other.
Well, the demons look pretty malicious right now. They really like color purple.
Yeah, the buildings are...
They're like summoning stuff.
Yeah, they just summon things into existence.
The summoning is complete. What game's that from?
That's Warcraft 3, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. The acolytes warping in things.
But you can see, I mean, their soul collector is the equivalent of the human's farm. I mean, it's the same
Yeah,
kind of,
it's
you know, they use
Soul
this.
Collector.
Yeah, so essentially everything is just an aesthetic change. I mean, they're like I said, the units do differ. Uh,
Do you have any kind of super units or just something?
yes,
that's
everybody has one
represent-
Titan unit that you can only have one of, and they're usually big and super badass, and they're like, they can take on like a whole army by themselves. They're pretty cool.
Whoa. Okay. So tell us about the resources in this game. Like what when you're building things. Like
We've
what
got
you need to do.
Yeah, we've got stone, silver, and lenya, which is this kind of marijuana-looking plant thing.
Oh, fantastic. Well, no wonder. I mean, yeah, they have to summon stuff in somehow.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you get your heroes from. Stone is usually buildings. Silver is most of your guys, and then lenya is a lot of your heroes and your special guys.
Wait, so playing as a demon, you're going to summon like some human-looking chick?
Yeah, there's no restriction on hero versus what faction you are.
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. More, we need these soul collectors. Come on, guys.
I
Summon
don't
them
mean
faster.
to keep directly comparing them to other RTS games, but it's one of those things where when you have nostalgia, when you go back to RTS games, you remember certain things that made them great. And what I really loved about Warcraft 3 and like what we just talked about, I would like to see varying factions, asymmetrical choices. You could summon the Dreadlord and the Death Knight and such in Warcraft 3, and it was totally different
Yeah.
on like the Night Elf side or the Orcs, the Blade Master or the Shaman. Like that stuff was awesome.
Yeah, this one it's more you can just have your basic heroes, and you get to choose your one at the beginning.
Is there any kind of neutral territories you can capture?
So the things are these actual towers, which in this map they're in the corners of, and different maps have. You can see some of the maps back when we were choosing only had one like right in the middle. It was just like one control point. But if you look on the right side, you've got Team 1 and Team 2, and we both have a score, and then there's a number after that. That number corresponds with how many towers each of us owns. So right now, each team owns 2 towers, although Team 2 got theirs up faster, so they've got a higher pointage. So we need to actually get 3 of the 4 towers to get ahead of them.
You gotta go and scout them, man, just like they did to you.
I know.
Just send one guy to their ultimate death. You ever wonder how in the world they relay the information? Like, hey, the people are here. You know, there was only one guy. He's dead now.
Yeah, exactly. How did we know? Everybody's linked to the Overmind.
Yeah.
Think this
So what are your
guy-
characters called? I've seen so far. There's the Lifeless.
Yeah, the Chosen, the Spike, the Damned. Everybody's real scary
Oh my
sounding.
god. Yeah.
These guys are like Demon Bears, the Bozun.
What? Build them.
Yeah, they sound pretty cool. What do they look like?
Demon bears.
Yeah,
That sounds terrifying.
these guys are pretty cool looking.
All right, here we go. So SpellForce 3, bring back however you call them. They do look awesome. The Bozun, bring them back, and if you build just a normal troop, have everybody have the option to mount that guy.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, there it is. Suggestion. It's an awesome
Spike.
suggestion.
These guys are small. Able to see shadows. Okay. Alright, we got a pretty big army here. Let's send this shit out. So you can see I've been able to, I've got a shit ton of resources at the beginning, like thousands. So I can just immediately build all these guys and just kind of go nuts with it.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to really worry about them rushing you.
Yeah. Man, my
Wait,
damned
so
are
what's this
fast as hell.
weird building that you have like away from everybody else? Like, it looks like the Hand of Mordor.
Yeah, that's his defensive tower. Soul Screamer Tower.
The Soul Screamer.
The
All right, we definitely picked the right faction to represent this
I
game.
agree.
I'm sure if there was like the Elves faction, it would be the Life Protector.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
We want everything to be demonic and
Spiritual
cool sounding.
defense.
I haven't even looked at what my
Which is
dude's
fine.
abilities are.
Not making fun of it. Everybody needs defense. but not right now.
Not when you have a giant Eye of Mortar. So those giant bear guys lob giant purple balls at people, so they're pretty much the best.
Like I said, badass.
They're
What
like
I really would love
artillery
to see-
units.
So something else that I really appreciate about the Dawn of War series too is that you were able to, your characters would be better either in ranged or melee combat, and sometimes you just really want to stay away. Like if there was a horde of archers, right, which wouldn't actually be in a Warhammer 40k game because that'd be stupid. You would try to engage them in melee combat because obviously they're not very good at it. It would be awesome if you had those options in this game or in SpellForce 3, because then you could get the Bazin to just run in there and just bear hug or vomit on them at close range. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm enjoying you ripping up
Okay.
these guys though.
So so I've actually got my big Titan guy that I'm trying to bring up here now. The Erupt is apparently the lifeless Titan, which the Titan is just a big guy that you can only have one of, no matter how many resources you have to be able to build him. But he's like twice the level of everybody else, and he's just...
Oh, he's the Erupt is the... Okay.
Yeah, so he's just like a giant, like...
So
I don't
what
know,
can
like
he
a
do?
crystal-looking guy. We'll have to see what he can do.
Dude,
I know the...
it doesn't look like they have individual statistics either.
Yeah.
Or do they?
I don't think that I can. You can mouse over them and see. Yeah, they've got health, man. Which their health. So his health is 75,000. So that kicks it up a notch. He does an average
I'd say
of
several notches.
mental damage,
It looks pretty cool.
and he's gonna try to attack me with horses. So we're just gonna slap him silly once that Erupt gets up here. Yeah, I know, like the humans, their guy is like a giant angel. Is their Titan?
You're right.
There's another guy
I
that's
like this guy better.
he just like claps his hands. That's his whole. What does he do?
You gotta go clap your hands.
Causes an average of 2% mental. Oh, he mind screams every 4 seconds. Okay.
Well, I mean, duh. Look at this.
He's got all those spikes and badassness, and he just like telepathically kills you by clapping his hands. It's fantastic.
Something that annoys me. Man, I'm just gonna come off as the most pompous, like condescending person when it comes to games like this. You see Erupt walking around, and he's trying to navigate in between units and such. So he's like moving sharply. Like that's it's kind of weird.
I got trouble on the home front. Might have to pull back, actually.
But I will say that he is the nicest Titan demon that you could ever spawn, because he just really doesn't want to hurt your guys.
Yeah,
To run
exactly.
run up to the other guy. He just wants to do this. And can I say, what in the world? Is that the meter until you win? The thing that's counting up slowly to 1,000. That's right in the middle of your friggin' screen.
Yeah, I know. I don't. What the hell is that doing there? 6 to 1,000.
Pretty annoying.
Yeah, I guess it is. It certainly doesn't need to be there. Click on something.
So does Erupt and the rest of these guys have any other animations, or
Way
is
more
that
points.
are they really just one-trick ponies? They don't really elaborate
Yeah.
more what they're doing.
Apparently his animation is just honestly not that impressive. He just claps his hands. That's kind of what he does.
Punches the ground, claps his hands.
Yeah, the other guys. One of the guys is the Shikan is this giant dragon, which is really cool looking, and does all the dragon things.
Well, clearly these people, they did not know how to fight the demons.
Let's just continue to. Kick
Question
ass.
is, how do you beat a race that's immediately born with a weapon?
Exactly.
They themselves are weapons.
One of those Bazins.
So can you win if you just destroy them, or do you absolutely have to get up to 1,000?
I assume you could just take them out. Yeah, we're gonna try to. So now we just took the tower. So now we're at +3 and they're at +1. So that's pretty good. Let's just see if we can invade their ass, because we've got our Titan out and I don't think they've got theirs, and that's a pretty big advantage. He's got another army there. We need more of these farms too.
No, what you need is more of the demon bears.
More Bazins. Yeah, they take 3 army slots. That's why I can't have as many
Oh shoot! Okay.
as everything else.
It looks like they're more of an artillery unit anyway.
Yeah. And now it's getting... pretty much all I've got left are the Bazin and my Titan, but that might just be enough to be able to steamroll this guy. I mean, he's got guys on horses. What the fuck is that all about?
I don't know. You're about to clap them off.
I am gonna
Where's
clap
your
the
hero?
shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
That is a hilarious animation. There we go. Okay, he does like punch the ground occasionally.
Yeah.
But the clapping is where it's at. He designed this giant, cool-looking guy. He just does like a sonic slam.
And I know it sounds like we're just ripping on this game, but I really am impressed. The amount of time that SpellForce has actually been relevant is startling. For them to
Oh,
come out with this game after all those financial troubles.
you'll
and
see this in a second. But so
moving
the
to
dungeon
developers.
guys, by the way, have by far the coolest Titan. He looks like the guy from fucking Cloverfield. It's like
Yeah.
this giant demon thing with like sword hands.
Yeah.
Like way
I don't know,
cooler.
man.
Way cooler than the demons. Like, sorry demons, but the Pact have fucking awesomest Titan I've ever seen.
If they just go on to one-on-one combat, they both just have 70,000 life. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I guess I'd be interested to see if one of them has a better melee attack, maybe would do better. But yeah, so meanwhile, the other AI is just raping my ally partner. Just horrible. Well, I guess he's got some defenses, but yeah, the guy's got Cloverfield on his side. Like, they're pretty fucked.
I'm a little disappointed that there isn't any kind of toggled abilities for your Titans.
Ah, shit, he took the tower back too. Yeah, there's 0 abilities for any of the units, actually. It's all, the hero is the only one you get abilities for, which I can summon additional heroes. They're just kind of generic guys. Alright, guys, take the damn tower back, because we're losing this game. Bazin, get the fuck up there.
Tactical move.
Tactical moves. Towers are still going strong. You guys need to make farms forever. Never stop building soul collectors. I need...
Any other units that you want to show off here?
You know, I don't think the lifeless actually have that many. They're pretty limited. Like, the dudes themselves actually can't even build the other units, so they just have those 2 extras. I guess because the lifeless are kind of this additional race that got added because they have summon all these heroes.
Huh.
They're kind of the main
Okay.
antagonist for the campaign.
Gee, I really can't see why.
No, the fucking demons always get a bad rap. Look at that.
There it is. You know what? That's. We're gonna make this game. We're gonna trademark it. We're gonna make the demons as the good guys.
Yeah.
Like they finally found a way to get to another realm that's not so dark and angry, and they come in and they just look
Exactly.
evil, and everybody hates them, and they just don't know what's going on. They have to defend themselves.
Poor demons.
We'll make it a deep and emotional story. Someone's kid will die in the beginning.
Did he? God damn it! Stupid ally, take your tower back. That's the reason we're still at 2-2. I took his tower, but they took our tower. Ah.
Just not gonna do it for you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just. You know what? We're gonna split our army up. That's an executive decision I'm making.
Yeah, let's see if we can rip these guys apart so we can end this here.
Yeah, because my fucking clapper is just going to town in that dude's city. He's pretty much got them occupied.
I like how we refer to your Titan as the clapper.
Absolutely, from now on. And we've already run into those guys. Let's see how well they do.
You don't
Go,
want the clap,
Bazin.
man.
I know there are some cool abilities that get activated automatically, like the humans one of their mounted guys is a paladin, and he'll raise up the dead soldiers you kill as like ghost soldiers, and that just happens automatically.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So while there's no activated abilities, there's still stuff going on. We just wiped the floor because I've got fucking demon bears. We're gonna send them over there because we are slowly losing this game. So you can see it's the timer is actually in the upper right. That's how we know. Kind of why I like this mode too, because there's just a very distinct end to it, and it actually gets pretty exciting near the end. Where you're like, oh shit, I need to make up these points.
Yep. It's just how it usually goes. However, we're not even halfway there yet.
Yeah, and I should be able to just maybe even kill the AI. If I've got one of them is basically going to be dead, because nobody can withstand the clapper.
Yeah, let's go in. Let's do some kind of assault.
Oh shit, here comes all those guys. This will be a battle. So many bears do I have.
The bears.
The bears. You know what? I've got all these heroes. Let's raise. Nice. All right. The Necromancer hero raised all his dudes as fighters, skeleton warriors for me. There you go. That was a slaughter. I like that a lot, actually. I find it weird at the beginning. It doesn't let you look at the hero that I could see, so you don't even know what kind of hero you're gonna get unless you've played with him before. So like apparently the chick I chose, I thought she was gonna be like an ice mage or something. Apparently she's a ranger because she's got all these bow attacks and she can summon companions.
Well, that doesn't sound half bad.
Oh, I know. Man, we're actually making some ground.
Yeah, take it to him.
So many
See
deep.
what we can
I can
do.
build more guys, can't I? The question is, why would you ever build anything but demon bears? I think is always.
Well, that
the
was my question initially. It was just how does it
I ask
feel
myself
like,
that
are you
every day.
are you penalized by just having what appears to be artillery units?
So
Because of
far,
what-
they seem to be doing pretty well, and it looks like I killed the other AI completely. So we might be able
Yes!
to join those armies together for the coup de grace, because my buddy has thankfully done his job of just soaking up damage and just getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
But he's been allowing me to do my thing, so.
Well, yeah. While you've been sending your Titan around to just slaughter
Uh-oh.
civilians.
And now I've got to face their Titan. Shit.
Come on, you gotta clap.
We
It's
got to
the
get
clap
Clapper over there. I
against-
know. He's going to make
Yeah.
the long trek. This is going to be nasty, actually.
We gotta see this. The clap against Cloverfield.
Shit, this guy is doing some damage. I'm going to start turning on all abilities. All abilities, go. So many abilities.
It actually could be a boring fight if they just sit there and just attack each other and nothing happens.
You know what? You know how you beat a giant Cloverfield monster? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 demon bears surrounding him. That is how you defeat a giant Cloverfield monster.
Yeah, they're actually really effective.
Super
Damn.
effective. I don't even need any other units.
Wow, that's amazing, actually.
Like, Clapper can just fucking go on break.
I think he's just killing civilians.
Alright, we have maintained absolute control. Let's just go in for the crush. The final blow. Wow, where the
Yes.
fuck did that army come from?
I don't know, but it's all the better.
One cool thing is aerial guys, you'll see there's a frost gargoyle here, which actually looks really cool. Can't be attacked by melee guys at all. You actually do have to have like long range guys to be able to attack them. Which is a big deal when you're playing, say, the campaign, because only your long range heroes can attack like fucking dragons and shit.
Yeah, that's
Found that out the hard way.
I'd hope that they had just the aerial units, and it was like in Warcraft 3 too. Like you had to, excuse me. You'd have the night elf, like archers. If people came in with the stupid wyverns or other ridiculous things.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take a screenshot because that dude is just super cool looking. I really love the design of that creature.
Yeah. I wish they did more.
Yeah. But, you know, probably very limited budget, and I mean, hell, just impressed you could squeeze this much gameplay out of this old ass game. Man, if
How
you
long
are,
did it actually take to make a Titan?
you know, I didn't even pay attention to the resources because I get all kinds. It's pretty high up there on the tech though. 800 silver, 1200 Lenya, which is going to take you. Lenya especially is actually pretty rare in a normal skirmish map.
Well,
So
I
you would
asked
have
you
to-
how that stuff works. How do you actually collect that stuff? Do you have to send workers out there?
Yeah, it's just standard. You build your little resource gathering hut, although just to speed things up, because then they can just gather it and put it to there. But yeah, you just send workers out and they'll gather it and it'll go up from there. So it's, you know, none of that is
Something else.
It's all
Something
yeah,
else
it's
we
all
want
pretty
from-
standard. That they do, you know, inject a huge difference with the whole obviously RPG aspect, but if you notice, like in these kind of skirmish maps, there's zero of that. There's no items to be grabbed. There's no leveling up. Everybody's already max health. So it's, you know, a lot of times it seems to be either an either-or thing. Like
Yeah, which leaves me
campaign is
wondering,
like
like,
90% RPG, and then you have the skirmish maps, which are just 100% RTS.
It just leaves me wondering if they wanted to try to be a little bit more like Warcraft 3, because you could pick up items and such with your heroes in that game. I think that SpellForce 2 could do it. Maybe
Yeah.
you can in another mode, right? Maybe it's just not Domination. Oh,
Yeah, I think the
You're
free
gonna-
mode is the main one to look at for combining RTS and the RPG elements.
just coming into this with a blind eye, I'm just not sure like what mode defines the actual game. So it'd be nice to see when SpellForce 3 comes out if they have
Yeah.
that defining characteristic instead of just, hey, there's a whole bunch of modes, but this is the one that you really want to play. It's like in Gears, right? You wanted to play Warzone or Execution. That's what that series was known for.
Yeah. SpellForce 3, the Demon Bears. The Bazin's Revenge, because seriously, these guys,
Basins.
that's all you fucking need.
Well, it's safe to say you won. Like you did this.
Pretty certain. I don't know, I don't think the AI is bouncing back from this. I might have to... Yep, that's the, that is the victory screen, which is
Whoa!
unfortunately not an actual screen at all. It's just a little thing that says victory. There's no,
Yeah.
there's no stats or anything at the end, but yeah, kicked ass.
So there it is, SpellForce 2, Demons of the Past.
There it is. Yeah, it's should be able to slate your RTS thirst until SpellForce 3 comes out, or you know, hopefully we'll see a little comeback of the RTS genre thanks to stuff like Kickstarter and hell, just StarCraft doing, you know, pretty damn well again. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so where can people get this if they're interested?
this is on Steam right now, and it's, I believe, just $20, and you don't have to own the original SpellForce 2. This is just a standalone expansion you can experience.
Standalone expansion. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
might be hard to jump into, and you know, be wary. The campaign is very RPG heavy, but there's some good stuff to be had in there. It's long as hell too, and you know, there's a lot of different modes and ways to play the game. So you got some good stuff tucked away.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Eric, for showing us this game. Can't wait to see what SpellForce 3 is going to bring us.
Indeed. All right, guys. Thank you.